और ठंडे को ठंडा 24 घंटे सेलो वैक्यूम स्टील फ्लास्क।
Welcome back. While the pressure on markets continue, the Nifty is down 92 points as we speak at that 17,950 mark. So at the day's low, and a couple of these big names which are putting so much pressure. Bank Nifty, of course, is the big one there. So we have Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, these two big heavyweights which are at the day's low right now. And Reliance Industries, that too has touched the day's low. So that stock too, the biggest weight on the Nifty, which is putting a lot of pressure there. The other stocks include the likes of SBI. We also have Asian Paints and Titan. So some profit taking is what we are seeing in these consumer names as well. So yes, couple of these names which are putting pressure on the Nifty. The broader markets, though they continue to outperform, mid-cap index has come off from the highs right now. While we are discussing markets, let's also talk about the pharma space in particular. Ekta, you're getting details from the notes from Bernstein and also IIFL. They have written about the outlook for 2023 for the pharma space.
Well, yes, I'll start with Bernstein, which is written on the Indian pharmaceutical space. According to them, 2022 was a tough year when it came to Indian pharma. Largely, we are back to basics in 2023 with key parameters such as managing the ongoing price erosion in the US. Complex generics should probably come to the rescue for a couple of companies this year. Complex generics will possibly be stock-specific opportunities. Remember that. Secular return to volume growth in India is some of the key trends they expect. They expect margins to improve after what was a rather flattish 2022. We could start seeing some amount of changes according to Bernstein. So improving cash position for companies participating in Revlimid generic, higher capital allocation and OPEX spends in India. The sector valuations, according to Bernstein, is back at 10-year averages on the PE as well as the EV to EBITDA basis. Cipla, Sun and Gland are Bernstein's top picks. IIFL has written on it as well. They have an outlook for pharma 2023, which remains mixed. US generic market continues to be challenging. That's something they point out as well. Estimate high single-digit to low double-digit price erosion. Regulatory risk for export-focused companies has increased. Domestic India pharma market continues to clock 10 to 11% growth. Domestic-focused formulation companies will continue to outperform according to them. Top picks include Sun, JB Pharma, Torrent Pharma, according to IIFL.
All right, Ekta, thanks a lot for that. That's about the pharmaceutical space. But just keeping an eye out on the consumer space right now, we are seeing some moves come by on Marico as well as GCPL. Both of them reported their numbers. Marico is virtually at the high point of today's trading session, and Godrej Consumer as well, sitting with a gain of almost 2.5% Marico is up around 2%, slightly off the highs, in line with the way the market has declined. And that's primarily because their second quarter updates were largely better than what the street was anticipating, and importantly, the outlook for the fourth quarter also does not look particularly bad. With decreasing raw material prices and stability in inflation, they believe that maybe there could be some improvement in the rural markets. So that's about a couple of stocks which are doing well in today's trading session. In an otherwise bleak market, we have the Nifty now down almost 100 points, sub that 17,950 mark as well. The Nifty Bank down 400 points. The mid-cap index too, which was outperforming, still is outperforming, has moved into the red. Let's talk about some market opinion then. Earlier today, we caught up with Taher Badshah, who's the Chief Investment Officer-Equities at Invesco Mutual Fund, to understand fundamentals of the market and his sectoral outlook. Listen in.
This sector probably is starting to get some bit of excitement on the back of possible avenue of savings once again, and that coming into play. And I think there's also a sector, as you rightly said, which is underperformed. Many of the stocks in this sector have trended down as far as the valuations are concerned, so relatively better. And we've seen them somewhat underperform even compared to the other to the general banking space. So I think that's probably starting to see some kind of that's probably leading to some kind of attraction as far as the sector is concerned. We were expecting a leg of improvement in the sector at the beginning of calendar year 22, and good part of it has actually played out either in terms of the demand environment getting somewhat better, especially in things like passenger cars and commercial vehicles, and also accompanied by some easing in oil prices and commodity prices in general, which also came to their rescue. But it's now not easy low-hanging fruit anymore. And like as I said, discretionary consumption is not entirely looking as robust. So we have to be a little more careful here. There are some pockets that we like, especially things like commercial vehicles, maybe tractors, agri-machinery, parts of passenger vehicles as well. There were still very clear, drivers of alpha and drivers of or pockets at least where we could probably see alpha generation. Much of it is kind of played out in 22, and some of the incremental impulses required for alpha generation in 23 are as of now not fully visible. So I would say maybe banking, financials is some area which is on its way to discovery. I mean, it's not as low hanging a fruit as what it was probably last year. But that's one, and you probably might, start looking at some parts of global, sectors purely from a valuation perspective and purely from a view standpoint, such as things like technology or maybe even commodities for that matter.
Okay, that is some market opinion coming in, but with that, we'll slip into a break. On the other side, Manisha Gupta will join in with Jatin Singh, who is the founder and CEO at SkyMet Weather as winter grips North India. Stay tuned.